already, which is the passing of one of our aldermen, Alderman John Coles. And I've got a little thing I want to read out, but if anyone here wants to add something to it, there will be an opportunity. Yep. So John Coles, devoted much of his life to serving the community, making a lasting contribution to both Glastonbury and the wider district. He served as a town councillor for many years and was honoured to serve as Mayor of Glastonbury on 2 occasions, 2006 and again 2010, as well as serving as a district councillor in Mendip. Alongside his work in local government, John served the town as an on-call firefighter, demonstrating his commitment to helping others in every aspect of community life. John earned widespread respect for his courteous manner, his willingness to listen, and his ability to work collaboratively with others. He was regarded as someone of integrity whose advice and judgment could always be relied upon. Paying tribute, former leader of Mendip District Council said, "John never refused to serve on any committee, and once appointed, he was always taking active part in the work. He could be relied upon to maintain an excellent attendance record," very important to our current councillor, I know, "and particularly enjoyed planning and licensing." In recognition of his exceptional service to Glastonbury, John was honoured with the title of Alderman, reflecting the significant and lasting impact he made on Glastonbury over many decades. John's dedication, kindness and steadfast commitment to public service will be remembered with great affection by colleagues, friends and the many residents whose lives he touched. His legacy of service to Glastonbury will endure for many years to come. And you may have noticed the flag has been flying at half-mast since we learned of his passing, and his funeral has just been announced, which will be on the 31st of July, 10:30 in the morning, up at St John's, and it says, "Please wear something yellow to celebrate his life." So yeah, if anyone else...
Could you repeat where and when the funeral is, please?
Friday, the 31st of July.
31st July.
10:30 in the morning, yeah. St John's.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think others may know him better than I did. If anyone would like to say something, please do. Councillor Cousins.
Only to echo what you said, John really did dedicate his life to Glastonbury, and we're very sorry to hear of his passing. And I recall he's probably the first mayor that I can remember in that role, and he was very supportive of, quite interestingly actually, in relation to what Carol Paul has said, very supportive of Avalon Fair Shares, which was a very much a community network like it's been described. And yes, he was always a person to make you smile, I remember, and I'm sure that he'll be remembered with great fondness in the town.
Thank you. Councillor Manning.
I'd like to say a few words. I think, although I obviously was not on the council at the same time as John was on the council, I knew John was used to coming to my shop quite a lot, and also he had a very extensive knowledge of the Somerset and Dorset Railway and the railways generally in Glastonbury, and he had a very good cine and photographic collection of trains in Glastonbury, which I hope that doesn't get lost.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, could you repeat the couldn't really hear.
Maybe you could speak later.
John Coles passed away.
Councillor Cook.
Yeah, I had a lot of time for John. We had many chats over the years since I've been here, in 1990, yeah, about sport particularly, cricket especially, but trains. My God, did he know about trains? He's got photographs of all the yards and all the, the rail station here, the whole lot. And he would talk, and he made films as well. So it was a hell of a collection he's got there. For posterity, obviously. So I hope it's going to be well looked after, as I'm sure he is being looked after.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councillor Ronnie Dougal.
Yes, another side of John that I'm sure most people here know, but in fact I met with John at the market only seems a few weeks ago, so it's a real shock because we had a nice chat and went our ways, but he was very keen on his allotment. And as a keen allotmenteer myself, it was a really nice connection around growing our own food and looking after ourselves and the community in that way. And I will always remember him for his wonderful allotment down at Lower Side.
Nice. Anyone else?
As a firefighter myself in Glastonbury for 34 years, with John, he was a good colleague, good firefighter, and everybody really, really got on well with him. And sadly missed.
Thank you. Yeah. Any more speakers? So I'd like to invite maybe, we'll light the Unity candle, have a silent minute remembering John in particular. And since Councillor Cousins and Cook are next to it, maybe you could light it together. Would you be up for doing that?
I'll hold the door.
Breaking precedent, I know, but let's have a joint lighting of the Unity candle for John Coles.
Probably
the last.
Standing.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So moving on, I think we're ready to come back to apologies for absence. So Councillor Price, our Mayor, is not well.
I've also had apologies from Councillor Henderson and Councillor Don Francesco owing to personal commitments.
And I would like to apologise on behalf of our screen, which is not working. The projector is not working, so we have a screen instead. Not quite the same, I know, but apologies on behalf of the projector.
It will be fixed for the next meeting.
Any declarations of interest not already recorded?
So is this going to be live streamed, as we haven't got
It's being live streamed right now.
Yes, that's working.
questions?
That doesn't rely on the projector.
Yep.
There's a piece of electronic equipment in the roof that's failed, which is why the projector's not working.
Okay, so any declarations of interest not already recorded? Nope. And let's go to the minutes of the last meeting, which was 9th of June, which will be on the screen. We're starting on page 8. Page 9. Page 9 was very technical. Page 10. Page 10. And then page 11, as soon as we're ready. Can you go down and back a little bit, Connor? Where do you want to go, Councillor Smythe?
So it's then taken on second and resolved.
Yeah, happy? Mr. in Bloom, Manning, yep. So that's page 12, page 13. Oh, sorry, Councillor Rainey Dewell, sorry.
I'd just like to give a little bit of information. It's at the very top of page 13, so it's point 6.
Oh yeah, oh the bus shed, the bus shelter, yeah.
Bus shelters, so it's moved on. We heard from Somerset Council, they asked us to identify precisely where we wanted the bus shelters. Scarlett and I went down there and took photographs to show and talked with people who were waiting at the bus stops to identify where the best place was. This information has now been passed on to Connor, who will put X on the spot and send it through to Somerset Council. So it's moving ahead. I just wanted to let you all know.
Thank you very much. Yeah, good. Good. Okay. Rest of page 13.
Sorry, I haven't done anything. There we go.
Page 14. And we are nearly there.
I think I should check that we're paying attention.
Oh, sorry. Plug it and plug it back in. I don't know why it's doing that.
That is actually the end, page 15. So are we content to accept the minutes? I will suffice.
Right.
Great, thank you. So as soon as Connor's ready, we'll have an update on actions from the last meeting.
Thank you. The first action I'll raise, Chair, the signage in the car park has all been changed. We received some new signs and replacement stickers. The replacement stickers arrived yesterday, and the team put them up over the signs today, so that now confirms for anyone parking in the car park that people with the blue badge have 3 hours free parking. And hopefully now the chargeable times in the car park will also not be tampered with by the enforcement company's own member of staff who thought the stickers weren't legit, but they are. So
great.
That's an action, an update on that. It had been previously discussed as well about, I can't remember where, might not have been full council, about signage for the market, the information centre and the festival hall. There are 2 signs that have been placed on the railings out front professionally today, and there's some more signage to be fitted to the 2 green gates down here at the front of the atrium as well, which promote the market and obviously let people know that the building behind is festival hall. I'm just waiting on the production of an oak finger post for out the back, which will sign to both us and the Glastonbury Abbey. That's the last bit of that I'm waiting for. I still haven't had chance, the Mayor has been very busy to consider the letter to the stroke unit, so perhaps next time when you're in, Councillor Lokabandu, maybe we could try and draft that, because you grace us with your presence in the office very regularly. Okay. Information regarding the cooperative fair was obviously shared, and I believe that event was a success. And Councillor Cameron is going to produce a report for the newsletter, and I've also contacted Councillor Hart to make that same offer. I have not seen her in a while, but I emailed her to let her know the deadline for the newsletter, which is a week today, and then going forward what the deadlines are going to be for our quarterly newsletter. So that's my update, Chair.
Thank you very much. Any questions or anything? Thank you. Okay, so crime statistics report.
I'm really pleased that the signs for the disabled blue badge holders in the car park have gone up. Thank you very much for pursuing that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Wonderful it's happened.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the delay. It was a mix of, we got sent signs and stickers together, but the signs were so heavy for the bag they sent it in, it ripped, and then they had to send a second batch of stickers because they were missing. But it's all been done. Everything in the car park is as council would wish.
And I know the market stall holders will be happy with the market signs. And
yes.
Yeah, great. Okay, so crime statistics report, which are here.
Haven't had any form of update from the police, Chair.
There's quite a bit of update in Councillor Cameron's report, if you've read it, because he has regular meetings with the police and there was a certain update there. Do you want to say anything about that?
Yes. I had my usual monthly meeting with the police 2 weeks back, and that was with Councillor Margaret as well. Who else was with us? Indeed, Your Worship. Unfortunately, Councillor Paul was unable to make it due to other commitments. And we were able to, or I should say, the town councillors were able to then pose the questions that we were asking at the crime reduction meeting directly to the police, to which they got responses. One of the big issues that has been articulated to many of us around the table by many in the community is around antisocial behaviour, specifically shoplifting. What's the point? And many of our business owners are a bit dispirited in doing that reporting, as well as the wider antisocial behaviour reporting as well. The police confirmed back to us that all reports do eventually get back to Sergeant Simon Lancy and team, and they do use those reports to build evidence bundles against known individuals, of whom they did mention a number of people in our town. I won't mention their names for obvious reasons. We did ask whether, when the outcomes of those investigations took place, as well as any of the legal outcomes, could be publicised, and they said everything that's in the public domain they will publish, and they will feed back to the community, so therefore we know there is cause and effect. The key thing that Sergeant Lancy said to us is that we just need to keep reporting. If we don't report, the statistics don't come in, resources aren't allocated, but then equally we're unable to deal with those perpetrators. And believe me, I just seek everyone's acceptance for what I'm saying at the moment. Actions are in train against individuals, and we should see significant outcome in the next few months. I know we've been saying that for a long period, but that's the truth. Final one, PSPO. Do you want to talk about PSPO? So I know a lot of councillors and the town folk were seeking a PSPO, Public Spaces Protection Order, as we had previously. That still is in train and is under consideration by Somerset Council. The team have now been recruited, and they've put out offers for the new PSPO ASB officers, ASB antisocial behaviour. They've yet to receive confirmation that they're going to take up those roles. Sarah Dyke wrote a letter only 4 days ago, and if people were unaware, she did mention Glastonbury and antisocial behaviour in House of Commons. And she's followed that up with a letter to Duncan Sharkey expressing her frustration at the lack of movement on the PSPO front. So we're trying to move forward in that vein. I have to reiterate, though, from the police standpoint and also the antisocial behaviour officers, whilst PSPO may be needed, it actually is a bit of a blunt tool and it's really difficult to enforce. And all that happens is fines against people. Whereas if you've got a criminal behaviour order set against an individual, if they breach their criminal behaviour order, that's punishable between 1 and 5 years for each breach. And so those are the tools that they're seeking to employ within the police circle. And that's it, fundamentally. Is there anything else? I don't know whether...
We'll come back to you, and we'll come back to you again in unitary council reports. This was the police bit. No, but I think I went to the meet the police with Margaret and Ewan. It's just very useful to know that we have full permission and support from the police to meet them in quite a private session once a month and just get some more information. Councillor Cook.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for that, Ewan. And I will reinforce that about reporting crime. Because back in, I think it was about 94, somewhere around there, there was somebody's broken a car window in the car park. And we didn't know who it was, no idea. It was just smashed. And it was a BMW, so the guy wasn't particularly pleased. So he came in and asked, and no, didn't see anything, mate. And that was it, end of story. And then following that, a couple of weeks later, I was talking to an off-duty PC in the pub. And I told him about it. And he said, oh, you should report it. Yeah, but we didn't see anything or anything. Doesn't matter, report it. And I'm pretty sure that, well, I know I've done it ever since. And it doesn't matter what it is, what the incident is. But if it is an incident, and I think most businesses should be aware of this, they should all be aware of it. If not, then I wonder why. Even if there's shoplifting, you still keep a record in your business. So in your accident book, whatever you want to call it, your health and safety policy book or whatever, then you always record incidents like that, shoplifting or whatever. With the value is pretty insignificant because it'll come back, it's waste anyway. But its reporting is essential, and that's to all of us. You know, for the slightest thing you see, write it down somewhere and return. You know, just make a report book if you like, if you're really curtain twitching all the time. But you know, for anything that's halfway serious or halfway involves the main things that we have at the moment, which seems to be antisocial behaviour, is high on the list, then fine. You know, record it. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for that, Colin.
And hopefully anyone listening to our live stream or later will hear your words and follow them. Yeah. So we are running a little bit behind schedule, but let's continue to consider the schedule of payments. Hopefully, if you've got questions about this, you've already asked Michelle or Connor in advance, but we need to approve it. So are there any, Councillor Napper?
Thank you. Yeah, I've got a few here. I'm sorry that I've got to bring it to the full council. Now, whether I get a proper reply now or not, I don't know. Maybe it'll be worthwhile to give me a written reply later. But I am one or two things I am concerned about. Number 7042, 3,724 for professional fees for purchase of Peccary Resource Centre up to the 28th of February. Now, I think that's a lot of money going out, and obviously there's some more in the pipeline. The other one is Step, Ride and Thrive. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And they amount to £2,087. I just wonder how much money there is in that pot to keep this going. Because I believe that when I asked last time, there was only 1,000 and something in the pot. So I'm just wondering where all this money is coming from. There's another one there. Plan. Gosh, I've forgotten my blinking glasses. I'm sorry. 7084.
7084,
7084, yeah.
ecotricity.
Sorry, no, it's not. It's 7064 and 7065.
Oh, yeah.
£5.5 grand, basically, for the preparation of neighbourhood plan. That seems to be an awful lot of money to be going on to the neighbourhood plan. And the last one is 7089. Oh, hey, thank you. That would help immensely. 7081. 7081. No, it's not. Now I can see what it is. 7089. Towndale, St Dunstan's House, project management to June 26, about £1,000. I thought that more or less had been dealt with, but obviously we're still spending money on it, and I'm sort of concerned about that. And we're going on to the next one, which is over the page, and I know we haven't got to it yet, but I may as well whilst I'm on my feet. It's wait for it.
The suspense is killing me.
It's killing me too, I can assure you. Imprint, Co-op, Fair, 23rd of June.
Oh, yeah.
Banner. I thought that this co-op thing was only going to cost us £1,000, but there's another £50 there, and we spent about £150 on tea and coffee. So it's not just a plain £1,000 that we gave to the co-op fair. It's other things as well, and I just wonder how many more things are going to come down in the pipeline. Thank you for bearing with me.
Thank you for your diligence. Connor, do you want to respond at all now or later?
I certainly can, if I can remember them all, your Chair. So the 7042, Councillor Napper, is solicitors' fees, and that includes searches, etc. And I went out for several prices for solicitors for the purchase of Beckery House, and VWV were recommended by Frome Town Council, who've purchased buildings from Somerset before. It's higher than I would like it to be, but that's because we haven't yet come to an agreement about the easement that National Grid are wanting. So for the amount of work that actually VWV have done, and to ensure that Glastonbury Town Council doesn't have an ongoing financial liability in terms of potential monies owing to National Grid for various spurious reasons in the future, it's actually quite good value for money, because it's not something, I'm not a legal expert, I wouldn't have picked up on. So I can assure you that the solicitors aren't dragging out the process. Everyone wants the place sold. There are just some strange requirements that National Grid are still pressing for that we're trying to negotiate. So that's that one. The Step, Ride and Thrive, how much is left for that we'll find out in the next agenda item. I'm sure the suspense is killing us all, but I can assure you that that funded project will not overspend. So that money there, it definitely has that amount of money, and that was an externally funded project. That's not Glastonbury Town Council money. We are acting as the bank for that project. So we'll find out in the next agenda item how much is left, because I can't remember off the top of my head. If I scroll down and try and remember what your other ones were.
647065.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the Planet invoices, 7064, 7065. They are the costs that we've incurred as a result of having the specialist consultants to help us write the neighbourhood plan. It is quite a technical document. It's not something we can just write in-house. Again, it's more than we would have liked it to have cost, and previously there had been grant funding available through locality, which is sort of an arm's length body of the government. Unfortunately, the government ceased that grant funding, I think, last year. So I think this is the first amount of money that has actually come out of the precept, as it were, or money that we've earned, because previously it's been funded generally by grants. But that's some of the cost of getting it to the stage that we're at, which is a statutory process, so we don't have a choice in that matter, unfortunately. But again, when we went out to procure specialist help, consultants for that. Again, prices were compared and they were value for money. What were the next ones? Sorry, was that it for that first page?
One was Dowlies.
Yeah, so
Dowless.
during the project management fees were about 4 times that. What we have at the moment, we are in what's called the defect period. So we've had most of the snagging done. So the building was handed over to us in November, and we have a period of 12 months that we now are in called the defect period. And there have been things that we've had to have changed. There's been little niggles. For example, the motorised roof lights that open in the ceiling of the atrium have had a couple of failures of the actuators. So the work that Dowless Property Group are still doing is that liaison between us and holding the contractor and their subcontractors to account to make sure that they come and fix any of these defects and finish off the snags. So the amount it is costing us has gone significantly down because they've got a smaller role now that it's finished, but they are still doing a lot of work making sure that the terms of the JCT Joint Construction Tribunal's contract are stuck to by the contractors. And I can assure you it's not as easy as I've got a problem, can you come and fix? It's quite difficult to get people back. So again, that's what that fee is. They are also doing work for some of the decarbonisation that we're doing in the town hall. I don't know if that is being billed completely separately. I would expect maybe not, but it hasn't been listed here explicitly. So I'll ask the responsible financial officer, but that might also be for other work that they're doing for the town council as well.
Well, that should be separate, surely.
Well, it might not be billed separately, but I will ask the responsible financial officer if that is just for St Dunstan's House or for other work as well.
Thank you.
Off the top of my head.
Thank you. And do you want to come back on the
Which one have I forgotten? Oh, sorry, it was the imprint.
749.
So the co-op fare is separate from our membership to the Cooperative Council's Innovation Network. The cooperative fare was something that the council decided to do, decided to host that event. It wasn't a requirement of our membership. It was something that the council wanted to do, and therefore it went to the expense of promoting that event with a banner so that people knew it was on, and the refreshments for people who came and attended the event. But that was, I believe, was it the Resilience Committee, I think decided?
It was, yeah.
It was organised through the Resilience Committee using their budget, but it wasn't a requirement of our membership. It was a choice that was made by that committee to host that event.
Thank you.
Very good. Any other questions on schedule of payments? Much better to send them in advance if you can, but good to go into them. Councillor Smythe?
Thank you. Just like to reiterate your last comment, which better to send in advance if you can, because it seems that Councillor Nappert forever is asking questions at this session on scheduled payments without sending them in advance to the clerk. But I thank Connor, the clerk, for his due diligence and his fantastic memory, and I thank Terry for his scrutiny. But if you could do it in advance, it would save all of our time and the cost of the clerk's time.
Right to reply, I'm sure.
In answer to Councillor Michael's request, the problem being I didn't get that until yesterday, so there's very little time for me to scrutinise it and come up with the what I feel should be brought up in council. Thank you.
I'll deliver it personally next
Anyway, let's move on. It's related. The budget monitoring report.
Chair, could we have and I will suffice that you and another member sign that one, please?
Yes, are we happy to approve the schedule of payments? I will suffice. Thank you very much. So the budget monitoring report. I've got a printout. You probably haven't, but it's on the screen.
I've got a few extra printouts for councillors if they wish, obviously because we haven't got it on the projector, but it's on the screen.
And Michelle has sent a couple of comments to go with it, our responsible finance officer. Sorry, Serena.
Yes, so on page 3, which we haven't quite got to yet, so I'll just wait until you get to page 3.
Okay.
But I was just wanting to make...
Margaret, would you be happy to sign that as a second person?
A comment with regard to St Dunstan's House.
Okay.
We're coming to.
Here we go, yep.
Yes, it is page 3.
So I'm seeing that at the present St Dunstan's House is being what one might call underused, because we're now 25% of the way through the year, but a lot of those are in the 80s and 90s. And I know that it's a very new building, and hopefully usage will increase in time. But I just would like to flag up a concern that it is a very beautiful building, it's been beautifully done, but there doesn't seem to be the usage happening that was projected when we were setting it all up. And I just would like to raise that as a concern and wonder what can be done to help actually increase the rental from these different rooms. Because they are, there's only one that's at 77%. They should all be close to that if it was functioning properly.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. Yep. Anything else on the budget monitoring report? Councillor Cousins.
I think that Councillor Ronnie Dougal's question is probably a good one for the next Property and Assets Committee to consider, which I believe is on the 22nd.
The usage of it would be Services Committee. The actual physical building is Property and Assets, but we can add that to the agenda.
Yes. So could we add that to the next agenda for Councillor Cook?
Yeah, well, yeah, thanks. Sorry, just by memory, I think the St Dunstan's car park income was written as about 50,000, I think. Is that, am I correct?
The income is more than that, Councillor Cook.
Well, whatever it is.
Oh, sorry, I haven't. Well, where is that? We'll see what we're talking about. Here we are. 54.
54, yeah.
5 years makes no difference.
Right, okay. Does that include the markets?
No. So the market.
The market income is on top of that.
Yeah, the marketing. There, market rent income.
It's got its own special section.
Sorry, it's here where all this highlighting is market rent income, £11,012.
Over the 3 months?
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, okay, that's impressive. And that's for the Saturday and Sunday?
No.
Sorry, the Tuesday and the Saturday?
No, it's only our market on a Tuesday. On the market that happens monthly on a Saturday, the Property and Assets Committee awarded market rights to an individual to run that market, and they do pay us for rental of the number of parking spaces that they use on a Saturday, so that would go into the car park income, but we don't sell stalls for that market. That is run by the person who was granted market rights, but they pay us for all the spaces that are used.
I also read in one of these reports that you were charging the rental for the Saturday, for the Tuesday and the Saturday, £30 for market traders.
Sorry, Councillor Cook, I didn't catch that.
Right. I understand it, and I can't remember where I've got it, but I've got it at home somewhere. But there's a phrase somewhere, which is probably on last month's, that for the car park, we're charging £30 to a stall holder.
No, that's not correct.
For a Tuesday and a Saturday.
We don't charge anything for a Saturday because it's not run by us, Councillor Cook. On a Tuesday, I believe it's £22 a week.
Right.
So it's not 30.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll look into that. So we don't charge for the Saturday?
No, because we don't run the Saturday market.
Okay. But we lose the spaces?
We receive income for the spaces, but they are then, the market is organised by someone else, but they pay us for every space they use.
So they do pay us?
Yes.
Councillor Cousins?
Well, am I correct with looking at something like the market there, that we're about a quarter of the way through the year,
Yeah.
And that we would expect to see minus 75%
Yes.
in the last entry.
Yes.
So we're not doing too bad then, are we?
No. Any other questions on the budget monitoring report? Councillor Cook, I'm sure you could pop in to see Michelle anytime and she'd be happy to answer any questions during the day.
Oh yeah, goodness me, I couldn't bring them all up here.
Okay, anyway, let's move on.
Will do.
Was that noted, Chair, by the council?
Noted.
We're noted. Good, thank you. So moving on, number 8. There's a recommendation from one of our working groups, the Town Management Working Group, which some of us are on, to pay some money to bring a consultant in who's been through this whole process on a similar town to advise us on the process, but in particular how to build it to get local support of local people, which seems important to me. Anyway, can we consider it as a recommendation? The clerk will advise us where the money would come from, which budget line it would come from.
So that money would come from the... I've just shut it, if I can find it. Plenty of money for it. Place and identity enhancement budget line. So there's £15,050 in that budget line.
Councillor Only Diggle.
Yes, so this town management plan, it was something that came out of the proposal to put on one side the proposal for the World Heritage Site, and one of the things that had been recommended by the Working Party and by the Advisory Committee was that we needed a town management plan anyway. One of the people who had been very kindly had come and had talked to us on an open day was the person who did the Avebury management plan, which was done in consultation with the residents of Avebury, and which was considered a very exceptionally good management plan. And so I wrote to her on the behest of the committee, asked her if she would be kind enough to come and talk to us and advise us how best we could put forward a management plan that would work very, very closely with people who live, the residents who live in Glastonbury and who have an opinion and want to express their opinion on it. And she very kindly agreed that she will come in September, but obviously she has costs. And so this money will be to cover her travel expenses and her daily fee. And it's actually, considering her expertise, it's a very reasonable cost. And it's something that we all agreed we had to do anyway, even though we weren't at the present going ahead with the World Heritage Site, because that had been put back and postponed for a while. So that's why we would like to consult with her and to talk with her and get her advice so that we can do a really good management plan for the town.
Councillor White.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember Sarah Siddons from the Avebury project, very, very good. So I like what she said. And I would like to propose that we do find £500 for her to come.
Second that. Are you happy to...
I'd like to speak against.
Speak against, yes.
I think we are likely to have a very different town council by next spring. And we have already, I mean, it's a pity that the people who were here to talk about the other plan that was sent out have gone. But because, you know, this is the sort of thing we've done before. It's exactly the same mistakes as was made over World Heritage Site. Let's wang in some consultants, let's pay them and see what they come up with. And I honestly think we are setting ourselves up for another fall if we go through with this. My own instinct is to leave it until after the election. We may not go through with any of it. Who knows?
Would anyone else like to speak against it or for it? Councillor Cousins?
Well, much has been said about the neighbourhood plan tonight. But those people who are speaking about the lack of consultation clearly weren't in the town long enough to know the background of the neighbourhood plan and the thousands of people that have contributed towards the policies over the years. It's very unfortunate that COVID and the lockdown happened halfway through our plan, but we have been attempting to keep the consultation up, and consultants were brought in specifically for the neighbourhood plan because of the changes that have occurred since COVID-19 and the lockdown and all of the legislation that had changed. We received funding from locality as a body to support that work. And I'm not in the, is it John Gummer school of thought, where I think we do need experts to help us with things. In fact, you know, when people take things on their own, sometimes that can be when bigger mistakes happen. So I personally would like to speak in support of this in relatively small amount of money compared to the budget that we have, £500 there, to help us get a good footing. She is an expert in community engagement, and surely that is not only what we want, but what Councillor Osborne wants too.
Councillor Cook.
Thanks. Yeah, I've read the neighbourhood plan as well, not all of it, but I'm going through it slowly bit by bit. But the one thing that strikes me is there's 28 names of 28 titles of what it's about, and there's a couple of names. Fortunately, there's Glastonbury Football Club is mentioned, which I'm sure is to do with Paul's association there, but no mention of the rugby club whatsoever, of junior sport, senior sport, or anything to do with the renovation sport. Exactly. You wouldn't know because you don't know sport. That's the problem. I do. And it's a massive thing around here, or it has been, but it's entirely neglected now. Entirely neglected. There's nowhere for the kids to play. That's why they're out in the street causing antisocial behaviour. That's why. Because even the boxing club's gone. Okay, so that's why. That's the only thing I'm not happy about, is the absolute lack of recognition of activities for an awful lot of people in this town. If you don't provide it, then you don't get it.
Anyone else want to speak for or against the motion? Councillor King?
I just wanted to say that having been working solidly throughout the whole of June, I've missed pretty much everything recently, but I would really like to say that from my experiences from before I was a town councillor, I mean, it's very, very clear that one of the things that we've always needed to address is better engagement with the community, and one of the things which I think I came to speak to the council most frequently about before I actually became elected. It seems to me also that we've now become a cooperative, which means that surely we should be working more integrally with other councils, including councils like Avebury, who have something to offer us, and we can't necessarily expect people to give up their time for free. It seems also to me that this is a very small amount of money, and if this person can offer us expertise and help with something which we need help with, quite evidently, it seems that maybe that will save us more money in the long run with mistakes that we could otherwise make. So I think this sounds to me like a really good idea.
Yeah.
Are we ready to move to vote? We've got a proposer and a seconder.
Can I just check, Chair, that that's proposed by Councillor White and seconded by Councillor Smythe? Thank you.
Okay, so all those in favour?
Sorry, what's the proposal?
The proposal is, as per the motion, the recommendation, to pay £500 for advice from a consultant to advise us on how to do our town management plan. So all those in favour? All those against? And all those abstaining?
Majority, Chair.
One abstention, yeah. Okay. Thank you. So now we have suggested updates to town council policies.
Thank you, Chair. This is quite simple.
Good.
I always like to consider our policies as living documents, and we're hoping to suggest a few small, not amendments, but additions is probably the correct word, to the venue hire policy that we have. Yep. So I've highlighted in green all of the changes, and they're only on the first 2 pages. The rest of the document stays exactly the same. Yep. So that I've added in point 1 that I've just added in that also the document contains terms and conditions. We have added points 5 and 6. So it just clarifies that dates for bookings of all kinds are held for 7 days. And after 7 days, the booking's either confirmed and invoiced or the date's removed from the calendar, because that prevents a lot of bookings when placeholders are put in the calendar that aren't confirmed. And we've added in point number 6 that if a booking is to take place within 7 days of the inquiry, that the booking's to be confirmed and invoiced on the day of the inquiry and paid for before the event, in line with the rest of the terms below. The only other change is to the cancellation section, which is that bookings that are cancelled with more than 30 days notice will receive 100% of their fee refunded, less a £25 admin fee, because there is a lot of to and fro between staff and hirers in terms of refunding that money. Yep. So it was less an admin fee of £25. So they are the changes that we are proposing. Very welcome to answer any questions or hear any comments.
Got Councillor Smythe and Councillor Cousins.
Connor, I'd like to propose we take these recommendations for changes, as long as potential customers are made quite clear that they have 7 days to confirm and make payment.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone who inquires receives a copy of this document.
That particular part relating to the 7 days must be either highlighted or at the top.
Okay.
I would recommend.
Okie dokie. I can see how I wouldn't want to leave it highlighted in the document, but I'll see how it can certainly be made very clear to people that, and also when they inquire, they will be advised either on the phone or email that the date that they would like is held for 7 days, and within that time they need to confirm. So I think it will be very clear for people, Councillor Smythe.
Councillor Cousins?
Is it ever possible that someone hiring a venue would be paying less than £25 to hire it?
Probably,
yeah. It is potentially very possible, yes. So
would there be some kind of sliding percentage below a certain amount of hire fee? Because it would be ridiculous, wouldn't it, to have booked the building and then, through no fault of your own, have to cancel that booking, and then your 20 quid turns into a £25 administration fee.
Yep, that's a very good point. Would you have a suggested percentage amount at all, Councillor Cousins? Or okay, but we can certainly, if you're proposing that as an amendment, we can either decide on the percentage amount tonight, or you can delegate to myself to do some number crunching with the responsible financial officer and work out what we think would be reasonable on a smaller booking.
Yeah.
Delegate.
Okay, so could I ask Councillor Smythe, so you proposed, are you happy to accept that change from Councillor Cousins as part of your proposal?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Happy to second.
And Councillor White seconded.
Move to vote, Chair.
Move to vote. All those in favour of this amendment to our booking policy, venue hire policy? In favour? Against? And abstaining? Okay.
Unanimous with how many abstentions, Chair? Sorry, I can't see that.
I don't think there were no abstentions.
There was none. It was unanimous, was it?
I think
Excellent.
it was, yeah. Great. Okay.
Thank you.
So the next one is to, there was only the one policy, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's the only one for tonight, Chair. Thank you.
Okay. So the next one is an update on traffic regulation orders for Glastonbury. And I'm not aware of any associated decisions, but there might be.
Councillors, as you will recall, at our last meeting, we put forward 9 TROs up to Somerset Council. I submitted that on our behalf the following day. That was then considered by the traffic officers at Somerset Council, who then did a reconnaissance of our suggestions, and they've come back with 3 proposals that they're happy with of the 9. And I provided the complete pack to all the councillors. What we've got in the pack this evening is the drawings therein. And you will see that they've actually made some amendments to our original proposals as well. And this is all based on reports that they've received with regard to road safety. So the three areas that they agreed to is the Moorlands Road location and the entirety of that area, and it connects with existing double yellows in that environ. The Torview Avenue, they agreed that there was obstruction and a number of things need to happen on that site, not least of which the crown of the tree needs to be lifted upwards in order to aid visibility, and they agreed that that was a dangerous setting, so therefore that's what the TROs they agreed to. With regard to the Wells Road, I did have a further discussion with the lead officer because I felt that that was not necessarily representative of what residents have said to me, and they are adamant that that's what they want to put. They're happy to put in at this moment in time. As with all of the other TROs, because no doubt numbers of people will go, well, what about Roman Way? What about leg of mutton? Lots of people have been telling us about near misses, etc. That's the point. We need to report any near misses or any highway issues. So please do bombard me with emails. I am building a little bundle together against each of those locations, and then in a month's time, 2 months' time, whatever it may be, we can go back and refresh. The TROs have all been logged, and so we can go back to them at any time to Somerset Council and present them with new information in order to seek their agreement. With regard to what you have in front of you today, all we need is the council's approval to these three TROs. If the council agrees to the three TROs, I'll send that with councillors' agreement. I'll send the approval up to Somerset Council tomorrow. They will then initiate the paperwork to start the 21-day consultation. So that's going to take them about a week, they told me, to do. And that therefore pushes the consultation period all the way through to mid-August, end of September. Depending on the feedback they get from the community, they will then depend on whether they go forward with commissioning the TROs.
Yep.
So
okay.
Not before September.
So I thought we'd already approved them, but I guess we were approving amended ones. Okay. Councillor, we've got a few people. Councillor Napper.
Thank you, Worship. Yeah, going back to Torview, thank you, Councillor, for that. Can you put the Torview one back up, please?
They're all there, Councillor Napper. The Torview one is this one.
Is that one? Yeah.
Yeah, that one. The yellow, the yellow line which goes into Torview, I think it's Torview, or is it Roman Way? No, it's Torview. I don't think that's long enough. Certainly the one on the north side, because I think that that there's quite a space from there where the caravans are parked there now. So I don't know whether you can extend the yellow line from there another, I don't know, 25 yards or whatever, because I think that it'll come back to parking on that corner again. Thank you.
So let's be absolutely clear. The purposes of the TROs is road safety. It's not about moving caravans on, etc. So the distances of the lines are placed there based on the traffic officers' understanding of not only the geography but also their science behind how long these lines should be in order to create visibility. Hence why they've also asked for the crown of the tree to be raised to assist in the visibility. Okay. And of course, Councillor Nappy, we can go back to them with new evidence at a later date.
I understand what you're saying, and yes, I see what you're saying because there is a danger there. But there is a secondary reason why we're doing this, and I can see that there's going to be another problem. I'm getting people phoning me from that area about those caravans all the time, and I just wonder whether we can extend that line a little bit farther.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Smythe?
I'm just here to talk about the primary reason, which is road safety. And since I'm also represent St Mary's Ward, as Terry does, I'm also very concerned with road safety on that corner, that particular corner. I agree that that line should be extended by at least another 25 yards, because currently I drive my van downhill ahead, and if I want to turn left, I can't see any cars coming my way, and it looks like I've only got about 5 metres there of yellow line, and if there were vehicles parked along here, I won't be able to see anything coming at speed in this direction. I'm baffled by the logic of this diagram. I really am. I'm talking about road safety here.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Cousins, and then Councillor Manning, then.
Very much. I'd like to thank Councillor Cameron for his hard work on getting these TROs to this stage. It's no mean feat, and Councillor Napper will remember TROs in his day as a county councillor and how much problem they are. So I feel that these safety measures are very astute and worthwhile us agreeing tonight. If once these safety measures are in place, there are still issues with safety, then we'll be in a much stronger position to go back to highways, I'm sure, to ask for an extension of a red line or extension of double yellow lines or whatever. I feel that the proposed red line at the school is absolutely vital. There are quite a huge number of children who come out of school and cross the road there, and people park up all the time because they're picking their kids up with cars and stuff. And actually, if you've got somebody coming down the road, it's quite difficult to negotiate. That will alleviate a lot of that and enable children to cross more safely. And if you recall, there is actually a slip near there where a lot of children go up a pathway that's a slip by the houses, and they need somewhere safer to cross.
Yeah.
I hope that this red line might be the precursor to perhaps a pelican crossing or something like that at some point there. I know that there are spaces in the road for people to stop halfway. The houses that are on that side of the road all have off-road parking. They have car parks in front of the houses there, so it shouldn't really impact on those people who live there, and they might actually be quite pleased to be able to drive in and off of their driveways. So I suggest that rather than amend any of these, that we support them moving forward, Your Worship.
Got a couple more people to speak. Councillor Manning?
Yeah, one very quick one first of all. With Moreland Road, it's now gone beyond Moreland Road, so I guess I have to declare an interest because it's now right up to the Bailey's buildings. So just to mention that. But what I wanted to talk about really was Wells Road, that like John mentioned, that it's ironic that I had residents of Wells Road come to me complaining about parked cars because of road safety. And I fully accept that it's really important to do that area by the school, but the people who approached me were not in that part of Wells Road. They were on the original plan, which is further down towards Manor House Road. And basically you've got a point there where you've got on the left hand, as we look at that plan now, on the left hand side you've got parking bays with the vehicles, and you've got cars parking on the pavement on the other side. And to me it's an obvious road safety thing to have double yellow lines there. Don't get me wrong, we need these to go through, but I really want to let the residents of Wells Road know that I'm on their side.
Okay. Councillor King?
Thank you, Your Worship. First of all, as far as Councillor Napper was talking about the issue with Tor View, obviously I understand it's a road safety issue, but I was driving along there yesterday and I did notice that the caravan on the very end, parked right at the end of where those double yellows would be, someone has written move on the back of it. So they've obviously vandalised the caravan. Now, my concern is that if with what's been happening recently, there's obviously some hostility towards those caravan dwellers. And my concern is that something needs to be done to help them to move somewhere else. Because if people are vandalising them, then obviously people are getting very angry. And I'm concerned for the safety of the people in those vans. actually. The other thing I wanted to say was, as far as the Wells Road issue is concerned, I completely agree with Councillor Manning. There is definitely issues there. And obviously, my partner's a traffic warden. He very much supports the double yellow lines in that area because of the fact that the people parking on the pavement causes a massive problem. And that really needs to be addressed. And obviously, I'm not entirely sure whether or not this no stopping sign will help with that. I mean, obviously, the traffic wardens are only around between those hours anyway. So that needs to be considered, that actually there's not going to be anyone checking unless the council asks for the traffic wardens to come in the evenings. There won't be anyone checking it then anyway. But I just think it doesn't really go far enough. So I agree with Councillor Manning on that. But obviously, if this is what we're going to get for the time being, then maybe we just have to go with it. But I'm not particularly happy about it.
Councillor Roney Dougal, I'm just letting everyone speak once and then come back to you. Yeah, go on.
So I'm not going to speak directly to these, but I'm going to do some things around this, if I may. And then maybe you will ask me to email you or something. But whilst I really support this around, because my kids both went to St Dunstan School, and they both would come down what we call the steps, which is the footpath that comes down here. And then there's a bollard that goes across the road. I'm sort of not quite sure exactly where we are because this is going into St Dunstan's house, and then this. So these are the steps coming down, I presume, and then there's the bollard that goes, and the kids can cross with the bollard. Now, for many years, we've asked, could we please actually have a pedestrian crossing there? Because there's all the children coming down from Windmill Hill Estate, going to St Dunstan's house and going back up again. And at the moment, yes, the bollard gives some protection for crossing the road. But is this something that is, email you and we'll push again? Because we have asked on numerous occasions. Okay, fine. So that's that one. The other one is, although we aren't talking Windmill Hill on this particular occasion, I've had, again, local telling me that the 373 bus was once again cancelled because of cars parked on the roads up Windmill Hill, and which stopped the bus from getting through. Now, this has happened on many occasions. And what we really need is to try to make sure that that bus route is kept clear, because we've had to fight tooth and nail to get the bus up Windmill Hill to go from Wells to Street, and they took it away completely, and then they gave us a partial thing, and then they were using Bumtown, and it was a complete mess. We finally got the 373, which does the route, and it can't get through. So they cancel it for the day because it can't get through. It's like bananas. Is this something else that you and I could walk the bus route and we could look to where the yellow lines should be to stop people parking?
Yeah.
I know you and I were going to get together about the A361, and you tried, and we could get. We'll work on it. Okay. While I'm still a councillor, we've only got 7 more months now. Okay, so we've got to move fast.
Okay. All right.
Gone down from 8 to 7 as of this meeting. Well, 7 months, 4 weeks, 2 days.
Moving on. Not that she's counting, no. Councillor Napper, and then we'll
Thank you. I see on these TRO, there's no mention about the problems in Beckery around the adult school and the tour school. I don't know what has happened with the tour school, but it looks like that they've employed so many more people that's parking right around that corner. And someone is going to cop it big time if we don't do something about it. And I just wonder whether you can put that through with some urgency. But it's only presumably teachers or whatever it is parking there. I don't know, but it's only that has only just appeared in the last 6 months. But it needs something done.
Worship, I would propose we move to vote. I'm happy to propose that we accept these 3 and we move forward with them.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor White, yeah? Move to vote? So we're clearly not perfect, but it's definitely progress. All those in favour? All those against? All those abstaining? So carried with one abstention. Okay, great. Last words?
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, councillors. What I'll do is, with that vote tomorrow, I'll take it to Somerset Council and move forward. All of the concerns that have been voiced by councillors today, I tried and did voice to Somerset Council in the drafting of these, and you heard how and why they got rejected. However, it is an iterative process. We've now got an in, and if there are any new proposals that councillors wish to bring to my attention, let's get it all going. I think we've got the wind in our sails as a council with Somerset Council, so I think we can put more ones in as well.
Thank you very much. Okay, so happy to move on. We are slightly behind ourselves. The next session is noting the resolutions of delegated committees.
Noted.
Your worship. Councillor Osborne, yeah.
I would like to raise something here because I have had more complaints about the state of the graveyard than any other issue that I have ever dealt with. I have had messages from people saying that their mother was in tears when she went to visit the family grave. I think it was quite difficult for her to find it. And I've had so many people come up to me in the street and they all want to understand, and I want to understand, how when the guy that was doing the job gave his notice in and gave 4 weeks notice, he wasn't replaced. Because it's an absolute shambles up there. This council does not have many responsibilities in reality, and one of the few it does is maintaining a dignified and respectful resting place for the dead of this town. And the general feeling is that it has failed miserably on this.
I think you would be welcome to join the relevant committee if you wanted to, which would be property and assets, I assume.
No, I tried to join staffing, which is the one that this is on, but unfortunately I wasn't elected to it.
Councillor Cousins?
I'm not going to cut the grass anyway.
No, but I would have employed someone who would.
Yeah, similarly, complaint every time you walk out the front door. Telephone calls is the other one. And I'm talking to two or three families, and they're absolutely distraught with it. But another issue has arisen potentially, which is not good, and this is going to happen a lot more, is the infestation of rats, because they love long grass, and where there's any little bit of water, they're there, and they're eating everything in the way. So this is an absolute catastrophe to allow this to have gone on for so long with no excuse whatsoever. There's plenty of people who would do this work, plenty of people who would have done it, but now we're faced with this, with the trimming and whatever, and it's going to take a long time to do it. And then the growing season's coming up in September, so it'll go boom again. So we have to have this sorted, well, ideally back in March, when, like you say, there was 4 weeks notice given. But there's a lot of problems coming with that, and then we won't get it back how it was looking for quite a few years yet.
Got a couple of people want to speak. Councillor Cousins, Councillor White, Councillor Smythe.
Well, I'm sure every councillor has been getting it in the neck quite rightly for the state of the cemetery, and it isn't acceptable. I do note at the staffing committee that we accepted a quote from SLR Outdoor Maintenance, and it was my hope that that would have moved quite quickly to start to remedy this. So I would welcome an update on that situation, Your Worship. And secondly, I know this is technical, but it isn't actually the duty of this council to look after the cemetery. It belongs to the Glastonbury Sharpham Burial Board, which is actually a completely different authority.
Councillor White.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just going to suggest that we ask the town clerk for a quick update,
sure.
And that was around what was happening over there.
Councillor Smythe, and then the clerk. Do you want a quick update?
Yeah, thank you. So when the former cemetery warden retired in December, the staffing committee took a decision at that meeting to wait for 6 months to understand the amount of work that was actually required at the cemetery. So I had asked for our own team to manage it in-house. That wasn't possible. So when the staffing committee reconsidered that after the 6 months they had agreed to, it was at this meeting where it agreed the quotation to bring the cemetery back to a maintainable standard. Now, what has hampered that work has been the ongoing incredibly hot weather, but also the fact that because the grass had been matted, the contractor that we have asked to do the work and the quotation that we have accepted, for which the price will not change, has had to purchase new equipment. I understand that equipment has arrived this week. So I believe they were at the cemetery today doing more work, and that they will continue until it's in a state that it can be continued to be maintained. And I'm pleased to also say that a quotation and maintenance programme ongoing has been agreed. So as soon as it's back in a maintainable standard, we should be able to keep on top of it. Now, the terms of that contract are obviously open to review. So if actually we find that the two cuts between, I believe it's April and November per month aren't enough, they can be changed. And similarly, the one cut per month, which will be November to March, if that's not enough or too much, it can be changed. The reasoning behind that from the staffing committee's point of view is that if the town council has enough staff during the summer, it has far too many staff during the winter. We obviously have a seasonal spike in terms of works that are needed outside between the responsibilities we have for open spaces, play parks, Glastonbury in Bloom, etc. So in order to try and make sure that the staffing committee best utilised taxpayers' money, it was agreed to trial the outsourcing of this piece of work, because then we don't have staff looking for jobs to do in the winter when it's a very tricky time to do jobs outside. And although there are bits of repainting that definitely need in the town hall, there's only so much repainting, etc. you can have a team of 6 or 7 people do. So we appreciate, obviously, that it's not up to the standard that anyone wants. The staffing committee agreed to trial something. That trial did not work, and we have now outsourced that to a specialist contractor that look after cemeteries in other towns in Somerset. So it's not even just a, for want of a better expression, a bog standard outside maintenance company. They already look after cemeteries which are specialised, and we will see if the terms of the contract that we have agreed to are enough, and we will seek to continue to improve the standards at the cemetery and maintain it to a standard that people want. So as in short, it has started, it will continue, and then we have an ongoing maintenance contract.
That's a great update, thank you very much. A couple more people want to speak.
Yes, so this is slightly sideways again. I seem to be doing a lot of sideways today. But as a member of Somerset Wildlife Trust, I'm aware that there's a national programme for biodiversity and wildflower cemeteries. Now, when I went to the cemetery, I found the Oxeye Daisy area really beautiful. I can understand that there are people who like it neat and tidy and the grass cut to this length and all the rest of it. That's fine, because that's one way. But in terms of biodiversity and enabling nature to thrive within Glastonbury, maybe we could have one section of the cemetery as a wildflower area, as the Somerset Wildlife Trust and the national churches cemetery areas are doing right across the country, not just going wild in Glastonbury.
Thank you.
So slightly sideways, but it might be something that we can think about.
We could enter it into Glastonbury in Bloom. Enter into Glastonbury in Bloom. Anyway, Councillor Smythe.
Thank you, Worship. I'm glad to hear that the cemetery problem is being resolved, getting some outside contractors in. I just wanted it to be recorded tonight, if all councillors agree, but a big thank you to go out to our outside staff who have been watering and cutting grass and carrying out all their essential duties in this extreme heat. Getting up in the morning, sometimes at 5:30, starting work as early as that, and without any extra pay, having to pay otherwise, But I would like also the staffing committee to review the hours of work. There could be something to put aside for social hours and also extreme gift payments, because they are actually carrying out their duties when many feel unable to do so. So a big thank you to the team.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep. We should be moving on soon, but Councillor Cook?
Just in response to that, Mike, having worked on golf courses for 5-6 years, the winter was mostly spent in a shed doing stuff. In the summer, starting at 7 o'clock in the morning, in the summer you start at 5, 4:30, 5 even, and then finish at 12. That's how it works. If you're an outdoor worker, which contractors are, contract cutters especially, I know several who do it still up in London. So it's about constructing your day to avoid the sun and heat weather payments and all the rest of it. Get up early. Simple.
Sure. Okay, thank you. So are we ready to finish noting the decisions of the delegated committees? Yep. Okay. The next one is to receive updates from the advisory committees, and I believe there is one decision to take here. So the climate emergency one, I suspect Councillor Ronnie Dougal will introduce it.
Yes. Oh, yes. So,
there's a
what
recommendation.
this is about is that we'd already agreed we needed another speed indicator device. And that had been agreed, and we'd agreed that we were going to put £1,000 towards it. Now, Susanna came to the Climate Emergency Advisory Committee with a proposal that you can get a bulk order of speed indicator devices if you do order 5 at a time. And rather than them costing £5,000 each, they cost £2,000 each.
Oh.
Now, she is asking other parishes around if they will come in with us on a bulk order so that 5 could be purchased. 1 would be for us, and the other 4 would be for the other councils. But that would mean that we would need to find £2,000, and we would get our speed indicator device for £2,000 rather than the £5,000 that we spent on the last one. So she asked if I would propose here that rather than us agreeing the 1,000 that we'd already put aside, that we doubled it to the 2,000, that would enable us to go in with this bulk purchase should it happen. It hasn't yet happened. This would be just us saying, should it happen, we will be part of the project to bulk order the speed indicator devices. That's what this is about. So I said that I would bring it to the committee because we do need one. We've already agreed we need one. And by going in on this joint project and putting in 2,000, then that would enable us to get one far cheaper than going on our own.
Councillor Cousins?
Your Worship, I would recommend that we accept this recommendation, and I'm quite happy to propose that we do, and that we also support these other parishes in themselves getting speed indicator devices too. And if I were you, I would ask if anybody is against that motion and move to vote very quickly.
Thank you. Which budget line would you take it out of? Which budget line would you take it out of?
Could I make a suggestion, Chair? I would suggest there are 2 lines you could consider taking it from. You could either take it from the grants budget line, which has £18,000 in it, and on Thursday of this week, I believe Finance and General Purposes only have 3 grants to consider. So demand for grants so far this year hasn't been great, or not great, hasn't been very big. Or you could consider taking the £1,000 from place and identity enhancement, that other budget line that we've also just considered this evening. That's the 2 places that I would recommend you consider. You may wish to delegate that to myself and the responsible financial officer to work out where best, unless you have a particular preference.
I would like to amend my proposal to let the clerk and responsible finance officer work out which is the best place to draw the £1,000 from as part of the proposal. Looking for a seconder.
Do we have a seconder? Yes. Councillor Napper?
Thank you, Worship. I'm not sure that we want to invest in one. I think that we need to invest in 2 or 3, because I think that the amount of speeding which is going on in Glastonbury, we've got 20 miles an hour all the way around. That is never adhered to, and we've got schools out there. I think personally that we ought to keep 2 or 3 for ourselves. Thank you.
Okay.
We already have 2, Chair.
Yep.
Okay, I'll go 3 or 4.
Should we go one at a time? How about that? Councillor Cameron wants to interject.
Thank you very much. If we're looking for other parishes to possibly, marry up with, the new boundaries are just about to be approved by Parliament.
Oh, yeah.
And as councillors may recall, the boundaries are Glastonbury and West Pennard, and Glastonbury and Mere. So perhaps we approach West Pennard Parish Council and Mere Parish Council to see whether they want to work with us.
I'll suggest that to Susanna.
I think we can spend £1,000 more foolishly than that, personally.
So let's move to vote on this one.
We can have a seconder, Chair.
Councillor Smythe.
Thank you, missed that.
So all those in favour of this? All those against? All those abstaining? 2 abstentions. Okay, great. That was the only decision to be taken with advisory. Great. So back to Councillor Cameron for more unitary update. We've done the crime.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. I'm not going to go through all 15 pages.
No, good.
We'll be pleased about that. I do apologise for it being slightly late from normal. I normally try to get to you at least 10 days before, but I hope you understand. I was trying to do it on the plane back from Mum's funeral. I'd just like to sort of raise 3 things, and it's really more for the community. We've had 2 significant events that's happened in the last month. One was the awful fire down at Tesco's, but that was a series of 5 fires that we've had. I just wanted to reassure the community that the police are still investigating, but they are aware of the circumstances, and I just wanted to assure the community that this isn't some sort of vendetta or a group of people taking things out on the van dwelling community. I can't say any more than that because they're still investigating, but we don't have a spree of these things happening. The second one is we had the flash flood, and I've been to pretty much all of the stores on the high street, and I know that many of the councillors have as well, and I have made offers to various shopkeepers for assistance with Somerset Council, and they've taken me up on that offer. And I just wanted to put it out to the rest of the community. If you still haven't got in contact with me, do, and I'll see what I can do. And then the final one is that together with the TROs, what I've been able to do is put a polygon over the entirety of Glastonbury with Somerset roads. And so they're going to look at all of our white lines and start relining across the whole of Glastonbury. I've yet to receive the exact timeline and which roads and where, but they've agreed to do that, and that was an agreement that was given to me on the 1st of this month, and I've let Connor know that as well. So that's going to happen. With regard to the yellow lines, I'm still in negotiation, and I fear it might mean me having to plod around every single road and taking photographs. But there we go. I'll get us sometime. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Napper?
Thank you, Worship. One thing that I've not heard in this last 2 hours, and one thing which I get pestered with, drains, drain suctions, and weeds coming out of drains. Can we have a blitz of Glastonbury on sucking out the drains, please? Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else for Councillor Cameron? Councillor Smythe? Yeah.
Thank you, Worship. Thank you, Johan, for all the hard work you do, particularly on the CRO. And thank you for mentioning drains, Derek. The report it's got to the point where one of our residents had to clear the drain at the bottom of Wellhouse Lane recently, after the flash flooding that we experienced a couple of weeks ago. But he did a very good job, and hopefully I can pass on the congratulations and appreciation of this council to him. But
very good.
So if you could get Somerset Council to engage ASAP, because after those flash flooding, a lot of our drains are choking.
Prevention is better than cure.
Yes, Your Worship, and absolutely so. Any block drains, please do report using the same process. Whilst I would love to go to every single drain cover and report it myself, it'd be far more efficient if members of the community could do that. And if they're not responding in a timely manner, I will then chase up on everyone's behalf. And just to give an indication, I received a completion notice from Highways Only today with regards to Fisher's Hill and Torview Avenue as two locations that they've completed. So it is happening, probably not in the speed that we want, but get them in and we'll get them done.
Councillor, thank you. Councillor Cousins?
I think that what the story we've just heard adds another string to your bow, Councillor Cameron, because the last thing this council would wish to endorse is anyone who hasn't got Chapter 8 training doing any work on the highways. And but the fact that that could happen, and possibly has happened, should be enough to alert Somerset to the seriousness of the situation.
Well, Stuart down here next to him, well, if you're not careful.
Okay. We haven't heard from Councillor Hart, I assume.
No, Chair.
No. Okay. So let's move on. Any updates from lead councillors?
Shit. I really think, before we move on, could we not ask the clerk or the mayor to write to Councillor Hart and ask her why she does not come to this meeting, and ask her why she does not present any form of feedback of the work that she's doing on behalf of the town?
Councillor Osborne, you have a
I believe
reply?
she's waiting for an apology from someone round this table. So she's told me.
Okay, interesting. So we could write to her and see what she says in
Your Worship,
response.
I think that when you are elected, you should not be taking things personally. You have a duty to respond to your role and the community.
Okay, thank you.
I have had an email from her, but it was to do with John Cole. So whether that is what is referred to, I don't know, but I have had an email.
Okay.
I mean, she is very active up in Taunton. She is doing stuff. She just doesn't see much point in this.
We need to see her. I'm sorry, we need to see her.
So let's.
How can we complain? Sorry, how can we complain like we do to our intrepid councillor here if we never see her? I don't know. I presume I'd notice her if she came in, but I don't think I would. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. So updates from lead councillors and representatives to outside bodies. Councillor White.
Thank you.
Town Deal Board.
Yeah, Town Deal, very briefly. I walked past the Bride's Mound roundhouse the other day, looked through the fence, saw the solar panels and the Starlink. I went, oh, very nice. This Saturday is the open day for Bailey's building. So that's at 2 o'clock. And so people are welcome to go there. The next Town Deal Board meeting is also on Friday the 31st, so shortly after John Cole's funeral. But I've just made a note to sort of ask those two things that Greg from the Red Brick Building asked. So about not clawing back and about the grant funding agreement. So I'll throw that in and just sort of see what happens. Yep. Thank you.
Councillor Osborne.
Can I just ask, is there any news on payments to the workmen who are still waiting for payment for work on the Life Factory?
I don't know, but what I understood from Greg is they're looking at all of those things, so in their, whatever their recovery plan is. That's the first I've heard of it, other than an email, and so hopefully they're going to contend with all of that.
Councillor Werner-Dougal?
Yeah, Michael, I didn't understand what Greg said about Bridie's Farm. What is happening? Because I understood that Somerset Council bought the land on their behalf so they could carry on. But is that incorrect?
I don't know. What Greg was saying was they were asking for a new grant funding agreement between Somerset as the accountable body and whatever the organisation at the farm is, so he's not part of Red Brick. So that was the thing.
So they're separating from
Exactly.
At the very beginning. And whilst I'm on my feet, as far as the Bridesmile, so the Bridesmile project was two projects. One was the nature reserve. That's now complete and doing really well. So we've got the scrapes, which means we've got a wetland area. We've planted trees which are surviving the heat. Fingers crossed. Please pray for the trees. We've mulched them, and we hope that will be good. And we've also got an area of wildflower meadow. So nature reserve is doing really well. The roundhouse. There have been so many delays, I've literally given up, but we are, as you mentioned, getting close. And I won't even want to attempt to put a date on it because we've had so many dates of completion. But when we have got building regs have signed it off and public are allowed in, you will all be invited to a party.
Yep. Thank you. Very good. Councillor Cousins?
Thank you. Somerset Drainage Board, the Exon Brew. I'm very pleased to report that the Somerset Rivers Authority have put £270,000 across the Acton Brew targeted main rivers for maintenance, which is absolutely tremendous. This is the kind of response that we need, particularly after the Environment Agency to propose the withdrawal of maintenance on all the main rivers, on selected main rivers, sorry. The Drainage Boards have formally submitted a response to highlight the risks of not dredging the main rivers or cleaning the main rivers, siltation, environmental decline, and the increased pressures on the internal drainage boards themselves, which have tried to pick up some of that work. And I think that there's 50 million from DEFRA to Somerset Council to address immediate flood risks over the next 2 years, which is also welcome. So what I would say is I think that this council could give a vote of thanks to the Acton Brew Drainage Board for their continued lobbying of all of the agencies involved to try and improve the situation along with the other internal drainage boards. And finally, CEO of the Acton Brew, Ian Sturdy, is moving to flexible retirement of his role, and he's been there for quite a while. And I just thought that it would be worthwhile mentioning his name in our minutes, Ian Sturdy, so that we have a record of the tremendous work that he's done on behalf of Glastonbury and our surrounding parishes as regards to flooding risk reduction.
Thank you very much.
One quick one on that. I see we've got Melissa here at the back, so we've had various conversations about the flooding, flash flooding, all the rest of it. Melissa spoke with Belle Deering, who's from Somerset Rivers Authority, and I think you've got an open day for flooding stuff planned. Is that August? To be confirmed. Yeah. Okay. But that'll be so public can come and get sort of advice and insight and all the rest of it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Ready to move on? Councillor King?
Well, I just wondered if the town council might want to adopt one of Camp Bin Places policies and ask the CEO of Wessex Water if he'd like to have a swim in the River Brew to see how he likes it.
Councillor Smythe.
On that note, the Living Brew working group had a successful walk along the river last Tuesday, a 3.5 mile stretch between Baldensborough and Glastonbury, and it was attended by committee members and a few members of the public, and we're moving forward with the project and hoping to announce a River Brew charter to present to this council in the coming month or two.
Very good. Any other announcements from outside bodies? So we'll go on to Mayor's announcements. I'm not aware if Zoe had any plans, but we do have one thing, because our two clerks, or clerk and assistant clerk, have both received successfully passed their qualifications for Silca. So I think they got. So a bit like buses, you have none, and then suddenly you have two come along at once. So we now have two qualified clerks, and I know Zoe has prepared a little card of thanks and actually a gift for both of them. So this is for Connor from our mayor.
Very kind, thank you.
And this is for Katie. And this is a little gift from myself and Zoe. That was Katie's, and that's Connor's.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Well done.
No.
Thank you.
I believe they passed Silca level 2, is it?
So Silca is a level 3 qualification, and then there is level 4, 5, 6 and 7. I'm eligible to go straight to level 7, which is equivalent to a master's, and staff and committee are going to consider that both Katie and I continue to develop in the role of clerks for this council. So that will be an agenda item for the staff and committee at a future meeting.
Yes. Anyway, congratulations to both of them. Councillor Cousins?
Well, Your Worship, we've heard tonight a prediction of a brand new council at the end of this term, and I feel very confident now that whoever sat round this table, in principle, will have the general power of competence.
Sure. I'd like to make one announcement myself. So you might remember a month or so ago we voted to join the Cooperative Councils Innovation Network, or to apply to join it, and we've actually been very active since then, mostly thanks to Melissa and Scarlett, also Joe Joseph helping us. We had our cooperative fair a couple of weeks ago, which brought together all sorts of people just involved in cooperative enterprises in Glastonbury, but I think very successful. And we've had a couple of follow-up meetings since then as to how to take it forward next. So it's very much work in progress. Maybe I'll do a fuller update next month. But it's quite exciting times, I would say, for us trying to be more cooperative, which includes much better relationship with our people. Yeah. Anyway, we should move on, if you're willing. Correspondence, communications and announcements. Do we have any?
I haven't got any, Chair. We're considering one in item number 20 in the confidential session, but I don't have anything other than that.
Yes. Councillor Smythe, Councillor Cousins.
Just to mention passing of Councillor John Coles.
Yes.
Funeral arrangements so that people know.
So his funeral is on the 31st of July, as mentioned at the beginning. Yeah. Councillor Cousins.
Thank you. Sadly, not just one former member of the Mayoralty here, but former Deputy Mayor Alison Black. There is a celebration of her life and a remembrance at St Mary's Church House Hall in South Street, Bridport, on Saturday the 25th of July, and the remembrance is at 2 o'clock. And I just hope that any councillors here or anyone listening who might wish to attend would have the details.
Thank you.
I'm wondering whether this is an announcement or a news release, but I was thinking we should mention the open day at Bailey's building, that's another town deal project that's coming to completion.
So we have mentioned it, but let's mention it again.
Should it be a news release or an announcement or what? I don't quite understand. They seem the same thing.
We've already set up a Facebook event for it, and I've personally paid to boost that as a trustee, but the event has been put through the Town Council Facebook page.
So this coming Saturday at what time? 2. This coming Saturday at 2, everyone is invited to Bailey's building for its open day.
For those who don't know, basically Bailey's tomorrow. The building work finishes.
Great.
I think I've just got next to what at the end of what I just said that. I should have said it. It's not 20,000. It's a bit less than that. But it's really fantastic news. And what we've got on Saturday is an opportunity for people to have a look at the Bailey's building before it actually gets occupied. So there'll be a chance to have a look round. So 2 o'clock, meet up in a very Glastonbury way. We're going to sing Jerusalem.
Hey.
Actually, we're not changing the words at all. And then, as I say, there'll be an opportunity to have a look round. Hopefully, I hope Zoe's better, but hopefully she's opening the event.
Councillor Napper.
And as we were informed last meeting, that there is a choir there, and then anyone can join in by all accounts. So
yes.
Councillor Henderson did say. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else for news release or newsletter? I believe Matt, our excellent communications person, is working on the newsletter. Okay. So review actions from the meeting.
So I've been very diligent with my green. So the Services Committee is going to have an agenda item about St Dunstan's House. The fee for the speaker up to £500 has been agreed for the working group. I'm going to work with the responsible financial officer to come up with a sensible percentage figure for an admin fee for bookings that were less than £25. The money, sourcing the money for the speed indicator device, I will work again with the responsible financial officer on that point. They are the actions that I have highlighted with the chair.
Councillor Cousins.
Just to make sure that the clerk perhaps made a Freudian slip, but not speaker, advisor.
Okay, I apologise. Advisor, yeah.
Okay. So we've got one more thing to do, but it's in private session. So could we have a proposer and seconder to go into private session? Councillor White. Seconder, Councillor Manning. All those in favour of private session? That's pretty unanimous, I think. So thank you for everyone else coming, and thank you very much for coming. And we will